Molly, you can be expecting to qualify with about 6 live projects on your CV. And that gives you insight. So, having a look, working with a company who might be in the charity sector, within media, within, big brands and different organisations.
I've got a question for you guys because I guess when you think about business, and you, Elizabeth, talked about it's so broad, and that's great because you can pick and choose and jump in and out of stuff. But talk about being an entrepreneur, a medium-sized, small to medium-sized independent business like we've got at Summit, or a big corporate organisation like you've got at Cranswick. How do you guide students across the breadth of that? Because you've got to find your passion, and I'm sure if you've worked with an entrepreneur, you see what it takes, right? And maybe that isn't for you. Maybe there's a different path, or maybe it lights a fire for you. So how do you guys help with that?
Well, the students for each year, they're going to be studying 6 different modules. And depending on the pathway, then you're going to get, on the different modules, different opportunities to work on live projects. So that's one way, is to be able to work on a live project with a business and choose the modules where you get those opportunities. You get a lot. I think if you're on marketing, I think, Molly, you can be expecting to qualify with about 6 live projects on your CV. And that gives you insight. So, having a look, working with a company who might be in the charity sector, within media, within, big brands and different organisations. So that's important, to be able to try and get a range. And I know that it is important to work with local companies, small companies, especially coming out of COVID. I know that Fanny was really careful to choose local Atom Brewery for our first years last year, the year before, to help come up with new products. But the year before that, we'd been working with Team GB, Olympic Team GB. And it's this mix. It's helping the students to see, because not everybody is going down one path. And that's this thing about treating everybody as an individual, helping everybody find something that they're passionate about, so that they can tailor their experience for for their course and to help prep them for their career ahead. So I suppose it's just about trying to shoehorn in as much as possible, a breadth of experience and working with a range of different businesses and bringing that in, whether it's in the course or the student experiences that the different student experiences that we offer. You last year, Tom, you were working on our green room, weren't you? And that with Hyundai as well, was it?
Yeah, we were sponsored by Hyundai, and we were on Look North and ITV Calendar News as well. So that was through the society. So as much as you have stuff that you can do within your degree, we also have the business society outside of that. Fanny is very close to it, and she's very much the enabler of a lot of those projects as well. And Green Room was one that we ran last year, which was a sustainability project, totally student run, which we ran in partnership with UQ, where we had 5 students living in a student house owned by UQ just off campus, and they had to live totally sustainably for a week.
It's like Big Brother, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Big Brother style, yeah. And we had, I was project managing it, and alongside Jess, who worked for UQ, and then we also had guys from who study sort of media, that sort of thing, and they were doing all the filming and the editing. And we got in a load of local businesses, so we did sort of highlights on different areas of sustainability that are coming in. So I got to ride around in Hyundai's brand new electric car, the Ioniq 5, for a week, which was very fun. And we also highlighted some of the vegan places on Newland Avenue that where you can eat sustainably, and some of the vintage clothing companies down near the Humber Street as well, Poor Boy Vintage, that we work with. And we did a whole array of different sustainability activities and worked with all these local businesses and filmed the whole thing. The GRP22 on Instagram, if you're interested. Don't watch hours of footage of students living sustainably. But yeah, no, it was great fun, and it was amazing that we had the opportunity to be sponsored by Hyundai, such a huge company, going forwards with their electric car, and also to be on national news as well, which was great.
So I think the thing about sort of the experience for students is it's all around the authentic business learning, and it's not only large companies, it's also small companies. And if you think about it, small companies make up the majority of businesses. So our authentic business learning projects are not only with the Hyundais of the world, they're actually with local small companies in Hull. And we give students the opportunity to choose. Do you want to work for a corporate? Do you want to work for a large firm? Or do you want to work for a startup or a small firm that's growing rapidly? And I think that is fundamental to just giving the option to the student to decide what they want to do and where they see themselves. And I think the vessel through which we do this is through that approach to putting theory into practice through what we teach and how our modules are structured, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's thinking about as well, when we say local companies in Hull, that's not always small. You know, we've got international companies like Summit Media. We've got, you know, huge companies, Siemens, Smith and Nephew. There's some really big employers here, some really big brands that we've been able to run our live projects with. McCain's, Young Seafood. There's literally, you know, there are so many. Local isn't small. Local's also big for Hull, and this city's really quite exciting at the moment, isn't it? As it's growing and growing.
We also know. So it was reported recently that Hull and Humber is the fastest growing digital region in the entire UK.
Yes.
So I think hopefully something will take a small part of credit with that, but the university and the business school should take a large amount of credit within that. You know, I think if you want to have certain measures, and employability is a great measure, you know, happiness and engagement of graduates coming on. But in the broader business context, Hull and Humber is the fastest growing digital region in the whole of the UK.
Yes.
What a great measure for the talent that's coming out, the ideas that are coming out, and the success within business, within the local region.
Yeah, and I know the university, you know, we think of ourselves as a Summit University, and it is really important for us to work with all partners to try and really promote and support and facilitate that digital strategy for the city, for the region, to keep us in that position. And yeah, we do acknowledge that we've got a big role there to, you know, to work closely with all the key players.